everybody, and welcome to my channel and to the Wood You Resin collaboration. Now I am looking for wood in my house, and I found this big old box that my mom bought, God, a billion years ago for under $20, if you can believe that, just filled with all of these fun little cool things. And I'm going through it trying to figure out which thing looks like the piece of wood that's going to be part of this. And I like that. I think I'm going with that. Let's make a sign for the craft room door. So I'm going to seal it really good with Mod Podge. I want to make sure that it doesn't, have everything seep in and get it all warped and everything. That's the last thing I need is a bent piece of tiny thin wood under the resin that I'm going to try and eventually put underneath it. So now I'm mixing a little tiny bit of resin because I'm going to make one of the elements for what's going to go on my sign. I am going to make some letters. Let's see if you can figure out what the word is. I did an A, a C, an I, an O, an N, a T, and a U. Anybody good at Scrabble? See if you can figure that out. So I'm scraping, trying to get it as neat as possible. I am not a neat crafter, which you will definitely see as we go along in this video. Things go wrong. So I decide on the other side, I am going to turn it into a chalkboard. That way I can have one static thing on one side and I can switch it up if I'm feeling like I'm in a mood that I want to put something different on my door. So I put a couple of coats on this. I do most of it off camera. Nobody wants to see me paint over and over and over again. And so now I'm going to make my next element. I needed yellow ribbon. And in my thousands of yards of ribbon, do you think I had this color yellow ribbon? Nope. Are you getting an idea of what I'm making? What the letters are for? The letters are going on this. So I paint like 1,000 coats on this guy over and over and over and over and over again until I finally get it looking the way I want it. And now I'm going to unmold my letters and give you the first clue at what this sign is going to be. So I'm going to pull all these little guys out. They're so pretty and shiny. I put black glitter in it. Not holographic. I don't have holographic glitter in black. I wish I did. That would have made this extra super sparkly. Except there's no shorts of sparkles by the time we get to the end of this. Trust me. So see, look. I am spelling Cotty. Come on, Cindy. Do it faster. Oh, these are so hard to get out. I struggled. Catio. Is that like a patio, but for cats? No, that's a catio. Why is there a U? Nope. Okay. There we go. I'm spelling caution. Making an actual caution tape. Like you see around something spilled or a crime scene. Can I say that on here? Maybe I can because I'm not monetized and they're not paying attention to me yet. They don't care about me yet. So now, for some reason, I decide I'm just gonna fiddle and fart around with these guys. Yes, it spells caution. Ta-da! And now I'm gonna put this green flash paint on this side, that side that I'm gonna be putting the resin on. And so I paint like 1,000 coats of this because it's super thin. I mean, look at that. Did I even put paint on there? So, but it's so pretty and it's so worth it to do it over and over again. This paint was also super old. I had to put a bunch of water in it and shake, 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 shake the bottle. Oh my god, I can't believe I just sang that. I apologize. So here's, I think, coat 3,582. And I go up and down and then side to side just so I can minimize as many of the brush strokes, but I also want to kind of keep that wood grain texture so you can see it. Not that you'll see it once I bury it under everything that gets on top of this side anyway. You can see the wood grain still on the chalkboard, but not too well because you've got to put multiple coats of that chalkboard paint. So here's 300,982 coats. But it's finally getting that gorgeous green flash. So now I'm going to make one of the elements that's going to go as part of this cautionary door sign. And look, there's more wood in the form of a toothpick, but it's wood. And I'm using, these are just little construction paper hole punches that I had a bunch of, and I decided this would make a good thing for what I want to make. I'm actually making a tiny, teeny little thread spool as one of the many craft supplies that I own and use. Well, I don't use thread all that much, but I do beading and beadwork, and so I use the clear filament, but that wouldn't show inside the resin, so I had to go with thread. And now I'm going to put Mod Podge on this to seal it and also make it a little bit more dimensional, which I don't know why you can't really see it. It's so tiny once it gets all in with everything else. But I know it's there, and I'm making this for me, and I'm putting this effort in for me. But the problem is because I'm doing a cautionary thing, I think I kind of willed into being quite a few disasters. And this isn't even one of the disasters. This is just a minor mess that I'm used to. And then I decided I have a bunch of this confetti. It's like the table confetti that people throw on tables for parties. And I, before I wanted to put it inside the resin, excuse the cough, I wanted to test the color fastness because I've actually seen a lot of people have color leaking in their resin, and I didn't want that to happen. And nope, these aren't color fast. So I was like, okay, well, I'll put UV resin over them. But nope, that still didn't make them color fast. It ended up turning my paintbrush pink, and it weirdly beaded up like it was covered in oil or something. I don't know what these things are made of, but they are resin resistant. So I finally ended up giving up on the majority of these. I used one of those little spirals and the pretty blue flower, and the balloon, the little happy cute balloon, went missing for a week. I finally found it under my table. And so now I am actually attaching the little black things to the toothpick so I can actually make the thread spool. And this is such a fiddly thing, especially once I cut this toothpick and make it even tinier. I don't know why I love miniatures. They are so hard to play and work with, but they're so cute. So cute. So I'm pulling out my little UV torch just to give it a quick blast so I can actually move it farther than right here and put it in my bigger UV lamp. And now I'm going to actually put the thread on to my little spool. So I just take a teeny tiny little bit of UV resin on the end of the thread, just to get it stuck on there and get it started, because it's too tiny to just try and wind without having that attached, and glue takes too long. This project was a long time going. I worked for 2 weeks because I had the in-between things, and then I had panic phases of what am I supposed to do, which I will explain later. But now I'm just winding this thread on my little baby tiny spool just to make it look like it's a regular spool of thread, just miniature and completely useless, because why would anybody use that tiny amount of thread? But I thought it was cute. So I'm winding, and now I'm going to thread some really pretty beads that I have on here, just to show that I love doing jewelry and beadwork, and that's something that I've been doing forever, since I was a kid. And I absolutely love it. I've made many pieces of jewelry and other things that are covered in beads. But these were pretty, and now I want to kind of glue them in place with the resin, just to so they don't run around and slide off the end of the thread, and I'm constantly chasing them because I've already had to chase two of them. I don't know what it is about tiny things that just go shooting off into the nowhere. I Does anybody else have that happen? And now I'm going to look at my caution tape again, because I just think it's so cute, and I'm so proud of myself for this whole idea. I constantly kept patting myself on the back at how cute I thought this was. I think that's why I had so much trouble with this. It was my karma for being too vain, maybe. I don't know. No, it's just my typical normal. If it's going to go wrong, and catastrophically wrong, I will do it. And I will do it hardcore. And in that little cup that's sitting right there has all the little bits and bobs that I am going to eventually put around this. But first, I want to write my funny little phrase that's going to be on here. And I'm using a Sharpie oil-based paint marker in silver. God, focus. What is it trying to focus on? Is it focusing on the pen? Is it focusing on my hand? Is it focusing on the desk? Just focus. I am a pro YouTuber. So, this isn't a mess yet. It's a creative crime scene. So, this isn't a mess. It's a creative crime scene. That is 100% my craft room. You walk in there and it literally looks like a bomb went off. No matter how much I clean, organize, whatever, I don't know what happens. If there's gremlins in my room when I leave, I have no idea what happens. But literally, I think maybe my craft supplies play. Like, in Toy Story, but instead of toys, they're all my little crafts, especially the ones that have eyes. So now I'm just gluing this on, and see, I actually taped the back really good. So when I put the resin on this, it doesn't destroy the back, and it was completely and utterly useless. I destroyed the back and the front, and, well, you'll see. We'll get there. I'm getting ahead of myself. So now I'm just getting this glued on as good as possible because I want to try and avoid having bubbles go underneath the ribbon and have it, just come bubbling up in huge chunks, and nobody needs all those bubbles. And now I have all these little bits and bobs. I have a ribbon rose and pom-pom, and that's one of those little table decorations, and a pipe cleaner. And what else do I have on here? There's so many things I can't even remember right now. But I'm fighting with this pipe cleaner. It decided it didn't want to be a part of this project. And oh, this was from my first video where I did the first collab for Merry Creepmas. I made a bunch of candy, and I figured, why not? I made this. It's out of polymer clay. It's technically craft supplies because I made it. And this is a pretty stone that I had in my collection. And, well, and then I find something weird under my nail because there's always something weird. Having long nails is a pain, but my nails grow so fast that to try and keep them short is impossible too. So I just let them do whatever they want to do, and we just coexist. And here's a charm that I found in my jewelry and bead box. It says play because isn't that what we all do in our craft room? We play. And that is one of those, what is that called? The craft foam. Craft foam flower. And I don't know why I'm trying to use the tweezers for these eyeballs. But here's the little googly eyes. Everybody needs some googly eyes. And that's one of the craft supplies that I think has eyes and has a mind of their own. And now I'm just putting some little jewels on here as all of the different dots for the eyes and for the exclamation point. And this is an itty bitty teeny tiny avocado. That's for my husband. That's the way we say I love you. And a tiny little star. Unfortunately, all of these things go missing. And a tiny little chicken for my Georgia. I love you, Georgie. Chicken cotto. And the customary ladybug that's got to be in every single one of my projects for my mommy. And just a cute little cat for my kitty cats. I've got two cats, Athena and Hilo, which were named from characters from one of our favorite shows, Battlestar Galactica. And here's a cute little teddy bear. All those little critters are made out of polymer clay slices. And a moon, that's for me. Cindy means goddess of the moon. And here is a little resin bat that I made, or as Lula says, sky puppy. I think that's what she calls them. I think that is the cutest thing ever. Sky puppy. So now I'm going to actually glue all these guys on here. And this ends up being interesting and messy. And, I tried to be neat and put it on the tiniest of pieces of parchment paper. I don't know why I did it on such a tiny piece of parchment paper. And I'm going to glue these eyes. And come on, you can do it. And I'll just keep fighting with this piece of paper. I eventually get wise. Alright, little eyeball. Nope. Now I glued it to myself. I always have to glue at least one thing to myself during a project. Luckily, this isn't super glue, so it comes off. I think this is the Aliens Clear Tacky Glue. So I'm just going to keep adding all these bits and bobs and whatnots and doodads on here. So how's everybody doing? I'm doing great. This is for, just wanted to remind everybody, this is for the You Resin collab, and it's hosted by Oh yeah, the moon. I'll finish my would you resin thing in a minute. The moon that I initially had was one of the things that decided to just shoot off into nowhere. All right, now back to the Would You Resin Collab. It is hosted by Andy from CCUK and Michelle from Glitz and Glitter by Michelle. Check out the link in the description box to see everybody's videos on the playlist. Of and I hope you watch it. I can't wait to see everybody's videos. It's so fun just watching the creativity of you give a couple of, different supplies and just see where everybody goes. And all these things that are porous, like this ribbon rose and the foam flower and the pom pom, I put a seal coat of UV resin on it to try and eliminate as many bubbles as possible. I don't have a bubble remover. I haven't been able to get one of those yet. So trying to minimize bubbles as much as possible is a huge thing. I actually even filled the inside of that shell, the hole, with some UV resin, just to literally try and minimize bubbles as much as possible. And now I'm going to put, what is this? Oh, the chicken from my Georgia. You'll end up understanding the chicken in a upcoming surprise thing that Georgia and I are doing. So I will keep you informed. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bells so you can be updated, so you are apprised at that upcoming project. We've been working very hard on it, and I don't know if anybody knows who Georgia is. Georgia's my best friend who lives in California, and we both do our crafting together, even if we are on opposite sides of the United States, and have a blast doing it. Constantly sending texts back and forth, what do you think? And crisis texts of, dear God, what have I done? But that's what friends are for. Oh, I forgot. I even have a gear on here. Just one of the thousands of things I pulled out of my drawers of, hey, that looks fun and cool and interesting. I do not know why my camera is having so much trouble focusing on all this. Maybe it's the pattern that's on my sleeve. And I apologize for the scratches that you'll see all over my hands. My cat has what I call her brat moments, where she literally goes cat shit crazy and will go from cuddling and hugging me to attached to my arm with teeth and claws. Does anybody else's pet do that? She is my little love for 99.9% of the time. So I sport her little love bites. Are they love bites? I don't know. Maybe we'll call them love bites. And now I'm just putting the little bits of the pearl that I ended up trimming off of that ribbon. I figure, why waste these tiny little craft supplies? And now I am adding my little spool of thread with the beads and this massive needle. I don't know why I picked such a massive needle, but I wanted it to be seen. Sorry, I am trying to see what I'm doing. And here's some little dried flowers that were really pretty, and I figured they belonged in this spot right here. So I'm going to put the little greenery. And the flower. Yep, that's perfect. I like that. Then I found these teeny tiny little butterfly sequins glitter things. I don't know what these are actually for. They are so tiny and so see-through that if you put them in resin, wouldn't they all clump up? I don't know. I don't know enough about putting shapes into resin. Like, I shaped glitter into resin and what they look like. So now I'm going through my little treasure cup to see if there's anything else to fill in these final little spots. I want to make this as chaotic as my craft room is. And also put on all of the bits and pieces of the crafting that I love to do. That way, every time I walk past the door, even if it's not open, it reminds me and beckons me that there is fun to be had on the other side of this door, even if it is a disaster. Wow, this went on forever. But it's a lot of bits and pieces. This video ended up being a lot longer than I expected it to be, but I can't seem to make anything simple. I have to go over the top complicated. This, this was many, many, many videos watched, many Google searches to try and figure out how to make this mold housing to make sure it didn't leak everywhere. So I actually used cardboard and packing tape and popsicle sticks and a cardboard tube and a hope and a prayer and no, don't do it, Cindy. Don't pour it. Stop pouring it. Stop pouring it right now. I don't know if you can see, that's not bubbles, that is glitter. I went a little bit overboard with the glitter in here and proceed to cover up the majority of the stuff. I sort of fix it, but oh, it's so hard to watch. No, I don't. I knew when I started pouring it, but there was so much resin that I didn't know what else to do with it, and it was like I was tired, and I had literally spent a week researching trying to make this mold uh, for around this thing. I did so many different things for this project that I have never ever done before, and I learned a lot of what not to do. No, Cindy, stop. And also, as soon as I went off camera for this, excuse me, I'm sorry. Um, as soon as I went off camera with this, I turned around and then turned back to my desk and saw several bubbles coming up from right around that cardboard tube. My research failed me, and I went into full crisis mode. I ended up finding out, and I didn't know, I didn't know this, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but if resin starts leaking in an area like that, if you have at hand cornstarch or baking soda, and you can make a quick paste and glue it up against the sides, it'll actually seal it until you can get your hot glue in there to finish sealing it. So that actually worked really well. And with all my extra resin, here's all my extra bits. I made some Han and carbonite because I was considering doing something for the other side of my sign. And this absolutely adorable little gnome that is so absolutely sparkly because of all that glitter. And can you see how obstructed everything is? It's not too bad on the bigger parts, but the actual wording on the bottom completely covered it up, and it's hard to read, and it looks all smeary even if it's not smeary, but I'll fix it. First, now I need to get this mold off. I don't know why. At first, I was just going to try and wedge it off like I was going to make another one of these. I'm never going to make another one of these. This was absolutely one of the scariest things I think I have ever done crafting. Pouring that amount of resin in something that you're not sure is going to hold it is the scariest thing I've ever done. So finally, I decided I'm going to cut it, and I used isopropyl alcohol to try and help me get the hot glue that I put around the mold. Oh, that was the other thing I used a lot of. I went through so much hot glue, but isopropyl alcohol actually helps remove hot glue. It gets the seal off. So if you've got it stuck on your desk or anything, don't scrape it. Don't don't do anything like that. Spray a bunch of alcohol on it and you can pop it right up. But look, it completely leaked underneath. I just oh, look at this disaster. This is the aftermath. I didn't want to force anybody to watch me try and get out of this. So then I actually had to sand it like crazy. So I had to pull out the Dremel, which meant I had such a mess, and I didn't even I was in full fix it mode. I didn't even think to turn the camera on. I just had to see if I could salvage this. So now I'm gonna write the words again. I'm trying to match it up as best as possible, which I did pretty good. So, of course, now I'm going to write again. This isn't a mess, it's a creative crime scene, but I don't dot anything, hoping that you can still kind of see the dots underneath that I did with all the little bits and bobs. It makes it actually, I kind of end up liking it more on top. I wish I would have done it from the get-go because it makes it more multi-dimensional after I put the final coat over this, because now I need to fix all of these horrible edges that were just, oh, I wish I would have actually taken pictures so you could see how horrible it looked, and how, oh, it just, oh, it it was rough, very rough. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there and getting it fixed and pretty and looking the way that I envisioned it, almost. Just less glitter. Every time I say I've learned my lesson with glitter, I put more glitter. I think we need to have some sort of glitter anonymous group. Maybe we should have that on a Discord somewhere. Anybody want to do that? I think we should. Nah, I'm not giving up my glitter. So now I'm going to add these extra little bits on top here just to give it an extra, I don't know, dimension since I had it. So these are more of the candies that I made for my Christmas collab. I've got little teeny baby Pez and gummy bears and a gummy frog and a gummy cherry. So I thought these would look cute over here in this corner here. See, isn't he adorable? Oh, great camera work, Cindy. Focus. Oh, God. That actually says Pez. It looks like a miniature Pez that you would find coming out of a Pez dispenser. So I'm gonna futz with these. I'm just using some UV resin to tack it down before I put the final flood coat over it, which was, of course, another terrifying thing. I've never done that before. But I put so much tape on the other side to protect it because I had to sand almost half, if not more, of the chalkboard paint from the other side. Oh, yeah, I'm actually going to glue these little fairy wings that I have that were extras. I thought they would look cute up here, just kind of poking their way off to the side. It wasn't the smartest move, though, because now it doesn't fit as well when you flip it to the other side on my door. It's definitely dependent on where the door frame is, which side you can have the sign. But luckily, I like this side, so I don't mind having it with this side all the time. I love walking past it. I've been walking past it for, I don't know, 2 days now. And I absolutely love it. I think it is so cute. I'm very proud of myself. Resin is such a new thing for me that learning a new medium and all of its weird idiosyncrasies that it has been fun. It really has, actually. Frustrating and maddening and terrifying, but fun. So now I'm going to mix another batch for the top coat, but I'm not going to force you guys to actually sit here and watch me do the whole mixing and stirring and pouring. Y'all have seen it. You've seen me pour so much, and this video is getting so long, you don't need to see it again. I don't know why this is so long. Because my honey left it in here. Oh yeah, by the way, everybody, say thanks to my honey in the comments. He is my editor, and he's been helping me get these YouTube videos up. So, thanks, my darling dear. I love you. Or if you don't, well, no, I was going to tell you to put an avocado, but that's ours. So, see, this is, while the flood coat is flooded, but it didn't come out bad. I think for my first try at all of these things, I don't think I did too bad. And I repainted the back. And with chalkboard paint, you actually have to prime it with a piece of chalk. I'm not sure why you have to do this, but I'm following directions. So I'm priming it. So I'm just going to use this box of chalk, I swear, has to be 20 years old, and it's literally brand new. Not a single piece of chalk has been used out of it. But I know that the place that had the price tag on there closed before I moved here from California. And that was close to 18 years ago. So, yeah. Craft hoarder much? Nah. So, what am I going to put on this side? I have many different options that I came up with and were suggested. So, first one. Welcome to the sticky side. I mean, it's resin and glue, for God's sakes. So, it's definitely the sticky side. And I was thinking maybe I might put Han in the carbonite and maybe one of these X-Wings on here. Or how about glitter? How about welcome to the glitter side? Nope, the other side's a glitter side. So if I'm going to keep, it'll be welcome to the sticky side. But, nah, there's one more suggestion that I like more. That was actually suggested by Chris, who is the husband of Janet from the Crafty Rat. He's mentioned it in Discord, and he's pretty right. Do not disturb. I am disturbed enough, especially after this project. But it's done! Hallelujah! So here are the final shots. Do not disturb. I'm disturbed enough. Here's it hanging off of my front door knob so I could have it in the sunlight. And I proceeded to smudge the disturb with my thumb. And here is it out in my front yard with the lovely brown grass because, hello, it's winter. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. And don't forget to check out the collab playlist. It'll be linked at the end card that's coming up and also in the description box below. Check out everybody's videos because I am sure there are some amazing masterpieces out there. I hope you stay crafty, stay chaotic, and make sure you watch out for ladybugs.